is the video lesson for 3.07 Surprise the Assessment. And it says, were you surprised by your story's ending? Some authors are known for their shock endings or unexpected twists. If you enjoyed your story and would like to read more just for fun, then search the internet for any of these. And I can tell you that I have read all of these, and they are all really good. A Rose for Emily is kind of gross. The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. You have probably read that one before. That's one you see a lot in high school and middle school curriculum. And it's pretty weird. The Necklace is very ironic. The Monkey's Paw is another one that you've probably already read, and it's pretty spooky. After 20 Years by O. Henry. He is the guy that wrote The Gift of the Magi, which you have probably seen the Disney version of that, Mickey and Minnie Mouse, if you haven't ever heard of that one before. So he's always very ironic too, and lots of interesting situations. And then The Interlopers by Saki, and Saki's the same author as wrote the story that we read at the beginning. So these are just for fun, so you don't have to read them, but if you want to, those are all really good short stories. So the actual assessment, if you scroll down here, it says, this assessment has two parts. Both require demonstrating what you have learned about the elements of fiction and the techniques authors use to create suspense and communicate meaning. So you do need to do both parts. The first part is the analysis. It says, in complete sentences, respond to the following questions. Remember that analysis means you will use quotations from the story you read to support your answers. So you're going to take evidence from the story to show me that you read the story and that you have answered it properly. Demonstrate your answer is correct by including support from the story and an explanation. First example, a question asking, how does the author create suspense? You might be answered with, the author creates suspense in his first line, and then there's a quote from that. By beginning with an ending, the funeral, Faulkner prepares the reader for a story full of twists and surprises. And that sentence is taken from A Rose for Emily, which is mentioned in one of the previous stories. Okay, so you're going to do these 6 questions. Make sure that you answer completely and thoroughly and using a quote like it says. Remember that your first letter of your sentence needs to start with a capital letter. It needs to end with the proper end mark, a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. And don't let this intimidate you. It is kind of a lot of writing. You do need to support your answers, but as long as you have made a complete effort and it is clear to me that you have done your very best and you follow all the basic rules of grammar and punctuation, spelling, and follow the instructions, then you will be fine and you'll get full credit. On part 2, it says creation. Choose just one of the following creative writing exercises and have fun. And I am always a very generous grader when it comes to creative writing. So the first choice is to create a surprise ending to an original story. You don't need to write a whole story, just the twist ending. Begin with a short summary of the setting, characters, plot, and conflict of your story. Then write an ending to your story with an unexpected twist using the techniques learned in this lesson. You should only need 2 or 3 fully developed paragraphs. Be sure to label at least 3 of the techniques used to demonstrate what you've learned. So that's your first choice. You can do that, or you can create an alternative ending for the story you read in the lesson. Summarize your necessary changes you made in the action of the story for your surprise ending to make sense. Fully develop your alternate ending in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Demonstrate what you've learned in this lesson by labeling at least 3 techniques you used. So you'll choose one of those. You'll do these 6 questions up here and one of these 2 things. I just want to remind you what the page should look like. So this is a Google document which you all have access to. You don't have to use Google Docs, but I think it's probably the easiest one. You can also use Word or whatever. Not WordPad though, that one doesn't work. You should double space your paper, which you do by going here. And you need to have your name, our class, which is English 2B, the assignment, which is 3.07 surprise, the date. This one actually doesn't need a creative title, but you should label it parts A and B. And that's it. Thank you.